David and housekeeping Alton Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I am Jeff Doss. Welcome, guys. As you see, we have a special guest with us, and we are going to introduce him properly in a second. But let's do this. Let's have some fun. Welcome, Inside Scoop. And as you know, we are sponsored by Virtual Fight Tour. So, guys, there's been a lot of news that they've been putting out. So we had the Virtual Fight Tour, September 23rd, 24th, put up or shut up. Let's see the best team fights out there. And then the next day, we have King of New York, which is amazing tournament, fighting forms, everything. All the black belt rounds for fighting are 2 rounds. So it's going to be an action-packed event. And then they also released some awesome news last week. And then even today, with they're going to be partnering with the Bristol Open in when is that? October. And so, which, if you don't know, Bristol Open is one of the biggest tournaments in the UK, in England. So we're going to get to see USA versus Europe, really. And the first fighter that is going to be representing that team for UK, the man, Elijah Everell. So it's going to be awesome, man. Just exactly what I said. I hope we're going to see it, and I'm pretty sure we will. So it's going to be great. So who do you think now, Alex? Like, now that we have Elijah there, you feel like we're going to see some other big names from the U.S. that are going to go?
Yes. So there's kind of always been a decent presence from the U.S. at the Bristol Open.
Yes.
The fighters from the U.S. Have a pretty good relationship with the Bristol Open. You know, they do a good job all around. Yeah. It's not just one of the bigger tournaments in the UK. Obviously, the biggest tournament in the UK, as long as you include that, would be the Irish Open. It's still technically the UK, if you want to call it that. If not, then you're just going to say, well, then it's the Bristol Open.
Right.
But I think what we're really going to see is we're going to see a lot of eyeballs are going to be opened to really the others, other guys. You know what I mean?
Guys, yeah.
So
definitely.
we know Elijah Everell. Elijah Everell is possibly, if not absolutely, the best fighter in the world. Sorry, there was a fly right by my camera. I had to do that, man. My bad. All right. But I think they're actually pretty deep in talent over there.
Yes. As you've seen, they've won the WACO team championship before team fighting. They had I think 4 or 5 gold medals this past WACO Worlds.
Yeah, they're not shabby. So there's going to be some guys that they might open up some eyeballs. Yeah. So I forget some of the names that I had seen in the past. So I don't want to try to put them out there and butcher the names.
Yeah.
But I really am looking forward to all right, what does this mean? Is this person going to be there? Is this person going to be there? And they've got well now. I mean, how about this? Who's technically in the UK, who's right there fighting for England, is Evelyn Naines.
Oh, that's right.
Not trying Naines anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
So she might possibly be on that card.
She'll probably do it.
So then it's all right, it's not just Elijah and the others. We might have Evelyn there as well. So then you might be thinking
all right, let's
okay,
get Morgan.
maybe it's not just Morgan and then everybody else.
Yeah.
Because we did kind of get robbed of that fight.
Right, at America.
They were this is how long ago it was, Jeff. It was 2016.
Yeah, that's 6 years ago. Wow.
Right, it was 6 years ago. Those two were matched up with each other, and they were looking all right, these two might be the best in the world. Evelyn had just come off of winning the Irish Open.
Yep.
And then it was all right, there's that, and then there's this, dominant force in Morgan Plowden. Let's see how they fare up against each other. And it was like, what was it, like 15 seconds into the match? Morgan tears her ACL. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
So we still haven't really seen that match.
We haven't got to seen that. So, man, there's so much to look forward to in that. And, I mean, man, you guys just check it out. Go to virtualfighttour.com, find out about their tournament and put up or shut up, and then find out more as Jesse continues to put out more information on this. So, man, I'm excited about this show. I have one of my best friends in the world on the show today, and that is the man from Guatemala, Vamos Cordova. Edgar, what's up, my friend?
The most interesting man in martial arts.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Sushi. Yes, I would just want to say thank you for bringing me into the show. We're gonna talk. We're gonna have fun, and we're gonna discuss a lot of things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. Already, my mom said hi. Hi, Edgar.
Hey.
Oh man. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about what just recently happened. And you were there, Edgar. So what are some things, maybe even talk about, because it's been in past couple, we've had two big events, the Battle and the U.S. Open. What are some things, that your takeaways from those events? As you compete a lot, you're also a coach of Revolution. You had students that you brought to the U.S. Open and the Battle, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I mean, you kind of get to experience it all. So share a couple things, some positives, some things that you'd like to see improve on, and then we'll just kind of hear and chat and kind of go from there.
Yeah, and we go. Yeah, for actually, yes, two largest events, like everybody was thinking about. AKA is going to be the biggest tournament. You have US Open in the back. Both tournaments, they just bring a lot of people of different countries, different teams to their tournaments. We'll start with Battle. I think Battle is fighters. We got a lot of fighters. We got a good matches, on the open weight divisions. And for me, seeing a lot of people just coming back to the circuit, going out from the pandemic, like we talk, it's good, and I think for the circuit, it's going to be good to start like putting the events in another level. You know that right now, Battle and US Open for me as the biggest tournament so far. Not just in the black belt divisions, in the underbelt division, we can see a lot of teams, a lot of different schools, local or international, going to the tournaments. So I think that for me, that's something good, and we actually with Team Revolution, we brought for Battle was 40 of the team, and US Open we were like 30, 35, so I think for Revolution it was a really good event, and having people on the finals, it's good. It's always good, as a coach, is the way you want for the team, just put on the best on the circuit. For me right now, after these two tournaments, I just came back yesterday from US Open, and I think is how the promoters are working with different divisions. We know that always we see the 18 on stage. It has been always, as a black belt division, you have the open weights, it's going to be on the stage. You have many divisions, but what is going on right now when you have all the women's, like really good divisions in the women's, not just forms, fighting, and also you have a lot of great seniors in the divisions. 30 plus seniors. There was 13, 14 in each divisions.
Yeah. At both tournaments
forms,
too. Yeah.
Yes, and point sparring.
Yeah.
One weight division, one class division, 16 seniors.
Right.
That's awesome.
So I think there is something that the circuit has to start working, like for us, Sushi, you saw it in Battle, you saw it in AKA, if you want a division, you have to do 3-4 run-ups.
Right, just to get a spot.
See if you have a spot on the finals.
It's frustrating. You're like, Jeez. All right. So I have to win this grand, which should really, that should even be in the finals, but on its own, because it's a grand. But then I have to either beat the female or beat the weapons guy. So
Yes.
it's like,
And
it's
you know,
just,
you have for seniors, you have a runouts where you're fighting against extreme forms, extreme musical,
yes, it's all
creative,
together.
traditional, and then you have all the weapons.
Yeah.
So it's complicated. It's
It,
just
it is it
I
is
know the
tough.
circuit is working that way because maybe they don't have or they didn't have that many seniors in the divisions, but it's something that it
Yeah.
should be taught. Like the women's.
I
My
mean,
God,
yeah.
you know how many fighters you have how many fighters you have in one weight class. Light heavy, light middle for this tournament. There were 9:
Right.
Melan Ortiz, Cas de la Barrera, Jimena Janeiro, Peyton Fender. uh, I can follow the list. There was
Yeah.
Katushka. Katushka is fighting so well. She won both tournaments, Battle and US Open,
And
back
US
to back.
Open. Yep.
So
Yeah, they need to be featured, and I think that whole the women's thing with, of course, being the sponsor of, Female Fighters Matter, that's been beaten. Everyone's talked about that. I they got to know that's got to improve. You know what I mean?
yeah, and during the day, what they did at US Open, they took off the
Grand.
stage.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, it's yeah. So yeah.
I got a question for you guys regarding the U.S. Open, and I don't know the answer to this. I was just thinking, processing, wanted to know your thoughts. Let's say the U.S. Open wasn't in Disney World, okay? It wasn't there. Let's say that the U.S. Open didn't have the name of US Open. Let's just say
Right.
it was, something else.
Yeah.
Let's say, Edgar, it wasn't a team event. Okay. It wasn't a team event. It wasn't where it is. Would you go?
Yeah.
No.
See here,
Right.
for you, those of you guys listening, it's crickets for a reason.
Yeah.
Look at that. If it
Yes.
wasn't called the US Open, if it wasn't in Disney World, and it wasn't a team event, those are all things you can't control, right? You wouldn't go.
No. And remember, ESPN just came back this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and that worked out great.
We'll see. I think they're being aired next week or something. Yeah, I don't know.
But see, people hated it, but I actually appreciated it more when Mike and Mike decided, you know what? No, for TV, it's just a show for TV. The tournament's over.
Mhm.
We want the show for TV, and I want you, and you. You're going to do the show. Then it was transparent. It was easy.
Yeah.
It was like,
People knew.
okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. That
Now it's
doesn't
really
have anything
confusing.
to do with the tournament. I'm a little salty you didn't pick me,
Yeah.
But it's like it was easy to understand. It was transparent because what are you going to do? You go in the end. He's saying it's my tournament. I do whatever I want. How are you going to argue with that?
yeah, and it's your show. It's your sponsor.
Right.
So you can do whatever you want. But how you say, the tournament was over. Now it's different. Now they run a lot of things, during the day to see who goes. And if they like it, they put him. If not, they took another one from the list.
Right. Or they'll add one too.
Yes,
Which has happened. Yeah, they'll add certain things based on who's there and this and that. So
Yes.
that's been something they've done for a while. Again, it's a show. I guess the problem is like what you were saying, Alex. I think it's just when you blur the lines, you know what I mean? When, all right, well, you know what? We're going to wait all day to decide if we want the men's traditional to go on stage or not, or who is, which I've shared that story before. The last time I was there, we were supposed to do our runoff at noon. And they just kept waiting and said, all right, yeah, we're going to take all 3 of you guys,
and dope form that one too.
And then it was just kind of like, all right, whatever, so, I mean, which worked out, I mean, we were on stage, but
they hijacked you for the day.
For the
They
day.
held
Yeah,
you
exactly.
hostage
Yeah.
and made
the
you
day.
feel like that's just what you're supposed to do at karate tournaments. No, it's
Right.
not. It's not what you're supposed to do,
Right.
right? And,
Right.
and so I don't miss not going to the U.S. Open. What I miss about it are the individuals that are there. But Edgar, you just said it. That was better. That was better. And Jeff, we had some things to say about the battle. Like, ooh, the battle's doing some battle things here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't get out
I
of
mean,
its own way.
overall for
And
me,
even
I enjoyed the
still,
battle.
the
I had
battle was
a
better.
good time. You know, I had a lot of fun at the battle. There was just some things the way it ended that left a sour taste in people's mouth, you know,
Yep.
and
It was
that's unfortunate.
confusing.
And I think the same thing happens U.S. Open, but the problem is that these same things happen all the time. So,
Yeah.
you know, when the same things happen year after year, that's when it needs to be addressed. And yes, you know, there were some positive things about the event. I mean, look at all the, you know, the different people that brought people, and then how the, you know, explosion of, you know, the underbelts there and such, you know what I mean?
Well, let's think about this. So the U.S. Open, they are doing some things that are, they're not just like, all right, that's wrong. They're doing some things that it's like, you're blatantly kidnapping us, right? So
being there for Thursday, Friday,
Edgar, you said
Saturday.
you just got home.
Yeah.
Hey, Thursday, we thought that, like, you know, like registration normal. No, they start at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Ended up at 8 p.m. on Thursday, first day. Then Friday, a whole day. I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Yeah.
8 to 6, maybe, and
How
then
is that?
Saturday a whole day.
Yep.
So
That's
yeah,
poor management.
that's too much. You know, like that's too much for the little kids. Also, you know, on
Anybody.
adults.
Yeah.
But you know, there was team from Germany, from Chile, from Peru. Is something that U.S. Open maybe works
This-
better, or because, like you say, Alex, it's in Orlando,
Right.
so maybe that brings more people because
I mean,
it's
hey,
there.
but I mean, you can't blame that on them. That's smart on the promoters putting it there and doing that. You know what I mean? And they've built their name up, and they've done that. You know, they've done a good job over the years of that. But yeah, I mean, there's a reason why. I mean, I don't go all the time. You know what I mean? It's like an every now and then thing. You know, and also too, we got to talk about all these other events that are happening the same weekend or is still going on that have huge numbers. You know, like the same
Right.
time, there's the USA Karate Nationals, there's the AAU Karate Nationals. There was
I'd
all
rather
happening.
talk more about them.
Yeah,
It
happening
wasn't
around
Fort
there.
Lauderdale. It was close. We have one of the students, one of the Team Revolution members.
Yeah,
He
in
went
Canada.
from the U.S. Open to Angel Perez. He went and he
right.
won the division. He won.
Yeah, and then so that was started Monday. It was the WUKF, which they partnered with the AAU, and so they had a big World Championships. That's going on still, I believe, and also
Yes,
in Vegas is the AAU Nationals, which they have like 4,300 competitors for national Taekwondo. And so, really, what's cool is people think, oh, it's just traditional this and that. It's actually like an open Taekwondo style tournament. There's different styles of Korean forms. There's Olympic style. They have point fighting because the AAU, we talked about this before, AAU Taekwondo has been coming to the some NASCA events. So like if you win the national championship and you win the grand championship, you are on the AAU national team and you get to go to 2 or 3 NASCA tournaments sponsored next year. So they're working with some of that. Right now, I know today was the forms day. They do it head to head, right? So like bracketed, they had divisions, like there was no division less than 20 people. And that is underbelts all the way up to black belts. And then they had the adult, I think it was the adult males division. And here's the deal, just for World Taekwondo forms had 100 competitors. Okay. So they go head to head and head to head. They had one of the junior black belt forms divisions. They had 120 competitors. So they're just, I mean, it's wild, all right. And next year it's going to be in Florida.
Want to do that?
It's going to be
welcome there.
It's going to be the same. It's going to be July 4th next year time in Florida. So, you know, and that league, you know, is growing. So I mean, it's interesting. There's more and more things going on that time. You know, I don't know. I mean, I think US Open can either work with those people and try to do something, or it's going to be tough, battling all of that, because we do have more of our competitors doing the traditional stuff. Myself, I want to do more of the Taekwondo stuff as well. There and we have a lot of people from Point Karate like, all right, let's try that. Let's see how that goes.
Yes,
since
if
they
you
have
see
it.
now that you have that transition, right,
Yep,
from the circuit, normal people in the circuit now is going more for the traditional way, like
exactly.
Mason Stowell. He went to
Yep,
a national
the
tournament this
nationals,
weekend instead of a
US
NASCAR.
Open.
So
Yep,
you have people. Joey Castro, I heard that he has some of their students. They
they
went
did.
to the tournament instead. U.S. Open, right?
Yeah, he
So,
had
so
them
yeah, I
both.
think
Yeah,
it's something that we're going to start seeing right now. As a point fighters, also, we have the guys went from points right now combat league. Like
yeah.
so, Karate
There's
Combat
transitions.
is pushing to those guys, and like they say, open and air, like they're looking for more fighters, to the league. So I think we might see more fighters going
Yeah,
in that direction.
yeah,
Well, maybe this is a good segue too.
yes.
Do you do you see your team like yourself? Do you guys see yourself like crossing over and doing a little bit?
Uh, like like yes or not. I don't see the whole team just moving in that direction because we have a lot of competitors that they just like they're looking for the name on the circuit, and we have competitors that they already have the name. So far we have Angel Perez. He is the new member of Team Revolution. He is doing that because Team USA asked him to go to the tournament. So I
Yeah.
think that's one so far that we can have. To qualify fighters right now, no, they're looking to get their spot, on the NASCAR circuit, the name on the circuit, and but we have a lot of members, like Canada. Um, Two of
Yeah,
our
don't you have
members
like
they didn't
315 members on the team?
in when.
The Team Revolution, don't you have like 315 people on the team?
No, not that match. Maybe,
Man, that is just a
maybe
sea of green everywhere you guys go.
close.
That's right.
Yeah, Team Revolution has been a lot of big difference, for me,
Yeah,
not just as a competitor, also as a coach. I was just maybe before that it was my team going to tournaments, NBL. That was my main events, year long. But so far, I'm enjoying this transition. I think that I was looking something else, just to go back to the tournaments, and I see my way out of competition and just be with the team as a coach. Like
awesome.
it's something that I can start seeing right now because I have I want to go more deep into that. Right now I'm a coach and I see my fighters, but I'm starting just involving more with my forms. My weapons competitors. I wanna give him more. Of my time, and me being competing at the same time as them is sometimes hard. You know,
Yeah,
we have more coaches now. We start with one coaches. Now we are three coaches on the team. So yeah, we have more time, but it's hard just when you have all the team at the tournament and everybody's fighting teams, girls, juniors. It's tough when it's the point fighting day. It's crazy for the coaches. We just go from one spot to another one. We run. So, but it's fun. It's fun. I'm being. Uh, I
Well,
I never
Edgar,
thought
one of the
it's going
things
to be
that
that way.
one of the things that Jeff and I do is we bridge the gap between where competitors are today and really where this thing kicked off.
right.
We really let people know like, hey, this is where this stuff started from. And that's why we've had so many legends on the show. I feel fortunate enough that they said yes to coming on. Right,
Right.
Jeff?
Right.
I
Yeah.
can't even believe it sometimes. I'm like, you want to come talk to us? So that's what we want to do a little bit, Edgar. Like, so when you say like, oh, now I see myself in a little bit of a coaching phase. Well, yeah, those competing right now, they see that and they see you competing But that's not where this whole thing started.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
This whole thing gets started.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So we start many years back. I started doing karate in the '85. I got my black belt in the '91. And that year, I started doing the NASCAR circuit. As a young kid, I was going to tournaments because it was in Orlando. So my instructor decided just to go to tournaments. And there was sometime there was U.S. Open, and a week after was a Manny Reyes tournament. So we hit both tournaments. We went to U.S. Open and Pan Americans. There was a split week, difference. So I started competing there. Then my instructor started supporting NBL, and NBL came like the best important tournaments for Guatemala guys. So Guatemala started supporting NBL. Boys like Dale, he was a great friend of my instructor Eric Schumann, and they put up a big alliance. So Eric Schumann started bringing NBL not just to Guatemala. He started putting Mexico on the map, El Salvador, Honduras, the guys from Venezuela. Venezuela has a great fighters now in the circuit, but all of them they start, like flying out to Guatemala. Was Gran Jaguar is one.
Grand Jaguar, the way we say it, Grand Jaguar was the big
Yes.
tournament, right? And
Yes,
explain
big
what that
tournament
was
for-
like when people think, oh yeah, I heard it's a big tournament in Guatemala. No, like this was a big tournament.
Tell me
Gran
about it. I've never
Jaguar,
been, so
in
tell me.
Guatemala was the biggest tournament. Everybody was coming down. For NBL was a national tournament and just one event for national circuit. And guys from Europe came a lot of times, Italy, Germany. A lot of those great fighters on those days. It was a big tournament. 2 days tournament. It was big. Then there was more tournaments just come up. Like my tournament is 18 years so far, and 16 of them was NBL.
Yeah.
Like just two. They haven't been NBL so far.
Recently, the past,
Like you
couple
have
times,
great promoters. Salvador Schumann is also another great promoter. You have Luis Morales. Now he's a president from JOLKC. So yes, Guatemala was just going to all the tournaments in Mexico. Guatemala was on the every year at Superman supporting the NBL with a big team. A big great competitors.
Yeah. And usually it was a Guatemalan school that won the school of the year for a long time.
Yes,
it was
because
them
we used to
or
be all the competitors. We used to be at the same school. So we compete in that title. Yes,
Right.
was for many years that Mr. Schumann just pulled up that so well. He did his work and put him a great team.
So Edgar, why do you think the NBL was a good fit for you as a competitor? What was it that you really enjoyed about that?
I think it was like having the regional tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
It was more easy to people just to qualify in the region, and then they can look for international tournaments. We have people that were just going to the regional tournaments. It was in Guatemala. We have tournaments in Salvador, maybe one in Mexico, and the black belt team, it was looking at national seeds. So it was the team that goes fly, out from Guatemala, go to tournaments in Mexico, in San Antonio, Washington, a lot of tournaments, so that was the black belt team. They were looking for national seeds. And then you have NBL brings you to have black belts and underbelts.
Right. Exactly. That's a key thing. Yeah, you want
also for instructors. For us it was good because we can just get the students going to tournaments, regional, support the tournaments in our country, and then put them together to go to Superguns. So it was an easy way to work with the team. Like they compete regional and then go for Superguns.
Awesome. So Edgar, what year was your first NBL Super Grands title? And what was let's see, I guess the most the division that you have the most titles in?
All right. I started NBL 92 in Atlantic City. 91 actually San Jose, California. Then was Atlantic City. Yeah. And my first title was in 96 Washington DC. So I competed all the 5 years before that. I just keep pushing myself. I have great competitors from here. Juancho Rodriguez was one of the best fighters and forms ever here. And it was one of my top competitors, like Mario Saldivar. There was a lot of guys, that I can remember on those days. 96 was my first weapons division, my musical weapons. And from that's the most titles that I have. One for NBL, I have the titles, 11, one division, the same division. Nice. I won it as a junior, as an adult, and as a senior. So I have all those. I have
and you also have several in Korean as well.
Yes. Then I have 4 in Korean.
Yeah.
I have point sparring and I have continuous sparring. So
Okay, wait a minute.
How
many titles do you have?
With NBL and WKC and
I was just talking NBL. How many NBL titles do you have?
NBL, I have 15.
Yeah. Nice.
Damn, when you got to carry the one, that's something.
Yeah. It was many years, when we stopped, my instructor just decided just to go NBL every year, and we were following, like we were instructor, and
then when you had your school,
I separate myself from NASCAR, I know sushi. When we start doing the bowls tournament, they were hitting some NASCAR. I couldn't, because my main goal was having my team just going and support superruns.
Right. Yeah. And see, for me, it was I started doing NASCAR first, and then I came to the NBL, and I knew of Edgar and stuff from the magazine. You know what I mean? That was the other thing that was awesome. Was the magazine, was being able to see that and be like, okay, these competitors, let's see what they're really like. Because again, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't really get to see much videos of any of that. Black and Blue, I think, came to one NBL tournament. That was the 1996 Junior Internationals. And so that was the only time that we really got to. And really, what was sad was that they filmed who they knew. So at that tournament, there was a lot of NASCAR people that went. So they filmed mostly NASCAR people that were there. Yep. So, we really didn't get to see too much, But yeah, no, man, Edgar would definitely be I agree there, Brett. He would have to definitely be the longevity award for one of the most supportive people in the circuit. And Boyce has recognized on that several times, for just being someone who just supported the NBL for years. Let's see. There's so many things. Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Because I asked, how many titles do you have? And you said 15 NBL titles. But you started to go on to how many titles you have. Well, now I got to know, how many titles in total do you have?
Let's see. This is the way I manage.
This is great.
First place is 23, and I won 7 NASCAR World titles in my first year.
There you go.
And then total, I have 73. First, second, and third place. I've been places in all the leagues, competing in Super Runs, WKC, WKU, WACO. That's
awesome, man. Yeah, that's awesome. And the thing is, too, man, you've always been an all-around competitor. You've done many different things. You've even done team forums. You and Corky doing a legendary team forum that we love watching.
We were talking about that this weekend. Just the past weekend, where we were like, what about a team forums? Just remember, those days that we were doing that. With GOP too, and I want to say something. NBL brought so far for me great people. Like Cornell Loveless, who is CEO from Team Revolution. I know Cornell from NBL.
Right.
So yes, I think that I can mention a lot of the big names on NASCAR they came up from NBL, or
Yeah.
backwards, like so. Yeah, I think NBL brought a lot of good things for me, and it's the way, just you just go move up and look for another things. When NBL just stopped in Guatemala, we start doing the WKC because we were looking something to bring the teams out of the country,
Right.
So WKC was the door to start doing that, and with the option, that they have one tournament in the US, one tournament in the EU and Europe, So yes, it's good having those connections so far. And Cornell Loveless for me is such a great person. He's amazing heart. Whatever
He's
he
a
does
pretty
for the
cool
team
dude. I will say that.
is big. He put a lot of love.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, it's not work. It's love. He in the in 2019, I came back to NASCAR, and they saw me compete. I went as a competitor, just me, and 4 teams approached me to talk about being on the team. One tournament, I won that tournament. I won weapons, point sparring, traditionals. I went to the stage on the finals because I won both grants on the floor, creative and weapons. And 4 teams, they come up to me and said, "Listen, let's talk. I want you in the team."
Yeah.
Who were
And
the
one
other
of those
teams?
was Cornell, and then pandemic, we stopped.
Mhm.
None of them, and then when everybody just started opening back the tournaments before battle last year, um, 3 of the teams approach again, and I just talked with Cornell. In my relationship with Cornell was more as a friend and was genuine. So the relationship that I have with him right now
Mhm.
is what makes me just feel so comfortable on the team.
Awesome.
Is my family right now. Is my family, and that's why he showed me and what he does for the team. His passion, his love.
Mhm.
He puts a lot of work, on the team.
Awesome.
So that just sounds like a really good fit with you guys.
Yeah.
But the way my brain works, who are the other 3 teams?
What you were thinking? Come on, what you were thinking?
I'm telling you, it's just the way my brain works. The when you said 3 other teams, approach me, that's all I could think about.
I know, I know. And my decision just went because the way I feel. For me, being in the team is not who tell me that is gonna give me something, or they're gonna pay me something, like that's not what why I am in Team Revolution. I
Right.
am because of the relationship, the way that we talk, and the way that they respect my way to see things, and
Right.
I'm open to talk with them. That's how
Yeah.
I've been working on the team, and that's how I now I have a position on the team that is very important. And they give me that opportunity. And it's something that I'm blessed, having a Cornell as a friend, as a coach, and as CEOs of the team is one of the biggest goal that the team, and that's why the team is like it
Growing.
is right now, all
Yeah.
green on the tournaments.
Yeah.
Is because of that guy. That guy is you we talk karate every tournament since we just say hi, and our minds are a connection, like we have a I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I'm so blessed to be on the team.
He's a likable
Awesome.
dude, and he
Awesome.
can talk karate, well, like all of us can,
Yes.
for like ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
That's
awesome,
a
man.
long
That's
time when you
awesome.
take the 4 off. It's just ever.
Oh man. So Edgar, I mean, we just heard it, man. Like all those titles, the different circuits. Like, what is it like to be like? There's not many people that say I'm the most successful person in my country at my sport. You know what I mean? Like, what does that feel like when you hear that? You know?
Well, I think it's something that when you work hard for the things that you want, it's it's big, you know. Like, yes, I might say that I'm the biggest successful guy in Guatemala, but you know me, and that's not me, you know.
No, I know that.
Why
That's what I mean.
I keep just pushing myself, you know, is because I want to give more to the kids, more to my country, you know. Like, they can see that you can dream, and you can have what you want if you put a lot of work.
Yeah.
It hasn't been easy, you know. I'm telling you, I spent 5 years going to super grands tournaments and no wins.
Right.
Second
Right.
place, third
Right.
place, no place at all. And my idea was, I want to have one title. I want to have one ring. I want to put my ring, you know. I just want one.
Yep.
And when that happened, I just realized how big it was, everything, you know. I want another one. I want another one. And I started, like, you know, like, everything changed. And that's something that I just teach to my students.
Right.
How love and how passionate you are for the things that you want. You want to be a NASCAR champion? All right, work for that. But you have to put a lot of work, sacrifice, training, you know, like big time. If you really want it, you can be a champion. My goal is not just to be a champion. My goal is to be a good person for more people. That's what I want.
Awesome.
I can win titles. I can have titles. I can have many titles if I want, you know.
Right.
But my main goal is just to let them know, the world, that Guatemala has great competitors.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a lot about Guatemala. Tell us some stuff about sport martial arts in Guatemala that maybe I wouldn't know.
Biggest thing, everybody in Guatemala just stopped training at 19, 20 years old. When I hit that barrier, like when I hit the 20s, I was ready just to go out. Like, all right, I stop. No more karate, no more nothing.
What?
And those days, I was talking with one of my greatest friends, and he was like, "Oh, you can do it. You can do it. You can keep going." It was 1 year, and I was just like, I just went off. As my first years as an adult, finals, super grands, Savannah, against Butch Tosigala.
Yep.
One of my biggest looking for, you know, since I was a kid, I started training my flying camas. It was with him and Michel Mastres. Everybody knows those two guys doing the team forums. Butch Tosigala with the and dropping back, you know, he was the greatest guy. So I go to the finals against him, and I won my title.
Before you keep going, I gotta ask a question
against Butch. How big is that? You know,
it's huge, and using the same weapon.
Yes, same weapon.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
it was the only final. I haven't seen another final at Supermans or whatever finals you can mention it. Butch Tosigala, flying camas. Edgar Cordova, flying camas. I was winning as a junior, 96, 97, 98. Move up to adult, and he was the number one.
Yeah,
top. Biggest fan. I was his fan, you know. I brought him to Guatemala a couple times, you know, for Grand Jaguar tournament. He was here. Yep. And for me, that was just a different experience. Opened my mind, you know, like big time. Because I was like, all right, if I can do that, I go for the next one. I'm going for the next one, you know, like I want the spot, you know. So, and that's something that just, I just want to inspire more people. I don't know if you mean, you know, like I just want to inspire more people. There's people here or any other countries, I can say it, in the US right now, in Guatemala, in Mexico. There's people that is coming back to competing just because they saw me that I'm still in the circuit.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Yep.
I got messages. It's not because it's me, you know. I got messages, you know, like, listen, I just went back to a tournament, a local tournament, and it's because I saw you competing.
Yeah.
And I have another people saying like, "Are you winning? I'm going for you." I have bad messages too.
What?
Also, you know, like,
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
messages like, "You still winning with that form?" I'm like, dude, you're winning with the same form when I know you. You know, like, what? Don't say me that. You know, if you want to go and back and compete, go for it. I wait for you. You know, like I'm ready. You know, and so that's something that right now is just pushing me. You know, I just want to stop. You know, like, but right now I know where I want to go as a coach.
Right.
I want to go in that line, and I'm ready. You know, it's just to make a transition. It's not saying that I will not competing again. Maybe not that much as I'm doing right now. I'm hitting all the tournaments. I'm hitting because of the team, you know, and that's something more to be grateful with the team, because now I can say like I'm going to the tournaments to compete.
Right.
So when you faced off against Butch and you beat Butch, did that feel like this is not real? This is surreal. This is not real.
I'm telling you, something that is in my memory, and it's something that just remember uh, how hard I work.
Yeah.
After 5 years no winning, I start getting my titles, and I had that shot against him. It was amazing. That was the last year that he competed, actually.
Yeah. 98 was last year.
It
Yeah.
was the last.
We had Weston on, and
Yeah.
Keith Weston said that one tournament, Butch was going around saying, "Where's Keith Weston? I'm gonna beat him. He's coming for my title. I'm gonna beat him." So, you know, I mean, Butch was
Yes.
intense. You know, what I mean,
Yes.
he was into it. And man, he was like a legendary figure, but like almost like didn't seem real until you like were up there next to him. You know what I mean? At that time, that was how he was positioned in the NBL at that time. You know what I mean?
You know, I spent 2 days just thinking about that final, because
Right.
I already know that I was going against him. You know, so for me it was 2 days like, hey,
Yeah.
you know, I was biggest fan. You know, like he told me a lot of the things that I know from a form. You know, when I start, he gave me a lot of advice. You know, and everything. But yeah, that day was big for me, and it's something that I will remember like all the time.
That's awesome. Edgar, what were some of the? Because after, let's see, I'm trying to think. You took a couple years off, and then you came back around, I think 2004, and really got back. Like I felt like your second win, and really, started. That was when you hooked up with Corky and started the team form and stuff, and kind of the GOP years, that like 2004 to 2008, 9 kind of phase.
Yeah. No. It was because of surgery. I was I was training before Superruns, and one of my injuries just took me off of Supergrands, and it was Panama City, I think. Yeah, Panama City was
Yeah,
the
that's right.
Supergrands that I
2002.
didn't
Yeah.
win. I stopped, and then the next year that I was supposed to go, the day before flying out Supergrands, my knee just blew up,
Yeah.
and I got into surgery, and that's why I stopped those 2 years and didn't show up to Superruns. But just to be on the records, another records, I think Regina and myself are the ones that have more Superruns at all. Like how many
Like
was
competing at the most. Is that
23?
what you mean?
Superruns was 23 years, right?
More than that. I think it was 25, 26 the last time they had it.
So I think I hit
I think you hit 23 or something like that.
23 Superruns.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then later on, you had another thing that kind of took you out. Like, talk about that other injury, because I remember this was a big deal as well. And then the way you came back from that, and it was something that like I was inspired, and we were competing against each other head to head. But I just knew that like, dude, like Edgar is going through this, and he came back even better. So explain Explain that.
2012. Yes.
Yep.
Another knee surgery.
Yeah.
The other knee.
The other.
Yes, I did my my rehab for that injury. I did it in a chair. Actually, it was like the doctor says, like, listen, if you wanna get recover, you have to stop for 3 months, 4 months, not walking. Like at all. So my rehabilitation, I did it in a chair. All the time. I did a couple of races to raise money for people on my wheelchair. I was doing a race,
Yeah.
and that was my training. That was my mental training. Was that year? I spent 4 months, like not being able to walk and push myself, as a different person. It was hard for my mind just not being able to train as I wanted. But yes, that year I came back to Superman's again, and it was sushi on the top. And yeah, it was fun as always, having those finals, or just be tied and tied and tied again.
Tie
Like,
again. Yeah.
yeah, we did it
That
like
was
three
wild.
times, and then tied at the finals.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And then the next year did the same thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was really good. So yes, I came back that year, and haven't stopped from there now. Like um, getting you, Corky, back on the circuit. When we started doing the team forums, it was GOP called us,
Yeah.
and my relationship with the Corky side was really really good. He's one of other of my brothers. Like
Yeah.
And yes, it was good times, like you said. Like good times, and also great fights. I just my age in I never was the best fighter. I think I cannot call myself as the best fighter, um, but I'm the only one that keeps fighting since I start in '92.
Right.
I never stopped fighting in one tournament. Like,
Right.
you can see there's fighters, there's forms guys, there's traditional guys, and I'm just hitting all the divisions because that's what I love. Like this tournament, I was running from one side to another because I was being coached, I was competing, I was doing traditional, I was fighting, and was like, "What are you doing? Like, are you doing double A?" I'm like, "No, I'm just running." And it's crazy. I'm
Dude, that's
46
what
years
it's like
old.
when you got lots of people. You don't sit down.
Yeah, you don't sit down. For me, it's 2 3 days working. Like running from one side to another one, and yeah, it's crazy. But it's many years that you just find a way to manage. Maybe sometimes there's, have you eat? I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
No.
no. We're
and,
still.
and honestly, Edgar, like you doing that now, Super Grand's got you used to that. So people don't know.
Yeah,
Super
people
Grand's was
don't know
like
that.
that for us as coaches, competitors. Also, we were promoters, so we had some other jobs we had to
Yes.
do. That's what it was like, all the time.
Yes.
And so
It's
now when I go
wow.
to when at battle was like that for me with helping with my team and coaching a team and my students and going back and forth, I'm like, still isn't as bad as what we used to do with Super Grand. So it could be worse.
No, it can be worse. Yeah, it can be worse. I think when you love what you do, it's easy.
It is.
It is. Like when I get it into a tournament, I'm like, my mind is ready. Like, yeah, it's now. It's 2 days, just giving the best of you. Doing your stuff, coaching, helping people, talking, everything. Like it's a big time.
So a couple more things, just some things, as far as you as a coach, one of the things I've noticed, and I know you have this relationship with a lot of them, but I want to talk about just because Alex and I mentioned this actually just in a private conversation of who is maybe the most active fighter right now. And I think it is the person that you coach, and I feel like you have a strong connection with her, and that is Jimena. And every weekend I see she's at a tournament. If it's here, if it's in Mexico, sometimes 2 tournaments a weekend, she is just like on it, and
Yeah.
explain just her as a competitor. And we've heard a lot about her over the past year, and she's like probably the most up and coming.
I think she's the most active female
most
fighter
active female active competitor. I think
Yes.
right now.
Jimena is from Mexico, right? So in Mexico, this is the weird thing, you know. In Mexico, there is weekends where you can have 4 tournaments. I heard once Mexico has 6 tournaments in the same city, you know, from
All in Mexico
Saturday
City.
and Sunday. There was 2 on Sunday. There were like 3 on Saturday, and there were another in night. So yeah. So Jimena comes from Hector Solorio school from Aztecas, and they are big supporters in Mexico. So Jimena goes to a tournaments every weekend in Mexico, just to keep the rhythm. Jimena is one of the females that we have in the team more active, not just because he's in every tournament she is competing, is because her heart, you know, she loves to fight, and she's 20 years old. Last year, she won the battle, was the biggest tournament. You know, like Jimena wasn't on the team before US Open last year. So US Open, we watched Jimena. I was watching her for a couple months before that, and she didn't win. She was like a 5th, 6th. She lost in the next division. I think she lost the first fight, you know, but we talked with Cornell, and it was like, I think this is up, you know. To what happened? She goes to AKA as first tournament,
good tournament
Revolution, and she won her division, won the open weight, and won they have a Waco tournament too. So and she won Waco, and goes to finals and won the overall.
Yeah, won everything. Yeah,
she won everything, you know.
Yeah,
and yeah, that put that was the tournament, that was the event that puts Jimena, you know, in another level, and now she's looking for that spot, you know, like being on the she is putting the name in. I think, yeah, it's one of the best fighters female that we have on the team. Yes, and it's because she just loved to be. Their family support her a lot, so that's why she can go to the tournaments too.
Yeah. But I mean, and that's got to feel good as a coach, knowing you have someone that's just like not going to give up. You know what I mean? Like just has that heart and that fire.
Yeah, she's a great fighter. You know, she puts a lot of work, a lot of pressure too. But yeah, I'm happy to have her on the team, and the connection that we have is because she feels comfortable with me as a coach. You know, because you know, like she doesn't talk that much in English. She is very quiet when she's in
well, let's also be honest though as well. There's a cultural connection. If I was her coach, she's not going to understand everything I'm saying. One, I talk too fast. Sometimes I'm hard to understand anyway, right? But English is not her first language. Right?
Yeah.
So you guys have that connection. You're a good coach, right? I think you're probably one of the perfect fits for her to be able to have that kind of success moving forward.
Yeah. I think she's doing the work. I'm telling you, you know, like being active on the tournaments in Mexico. Yeah, you know, there's is there ups and downs. Like I talked to her this weekend. You know, it wasn't our great weekend U.S. Open, but it is what it is. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, and that's my job as a coach. You know, just to explain to my teammates how important it is just to overcome those things that happen at a tournament. You know, when you don't win, and that's what I'm doing with my experience. You know, how to help them just to get better. You know.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, man. Is Alex frozen again? Oh, we unfroze him. No. All right.
He's thinking something.
Yeah, he's thinking something.
Yeah.
Oh man, Edgar, this is, like I said, we could go on and on because, and we hadn't even got into any crazy stories or anything like that, which we'll have to do that another time.
Yes, of course. I would love to
know.
be on the show.
It's just the first time. It's not the last time.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man, Edgar, this is fun, man. I'm super excited to be able to share just your story. We also, you know, we like to get people from different areas, and for me, especially going to the NBL, Guatemala in some ways was more successful than the United States in some ways. You know what I mean? They were that successful, and people don't get that, don't understand, you know, that. And you were a part of that legacy. You were a leader of that. You got to grow up with those people like Juancho and Mauricio and those guys that we just read about in the magazines, and you became that one. So for me, it's just an honor, and just for me, it's always been a motivation to be your friend. Like, you always inspire me, even when we are competing head to head and we're like this, you know. So I just appreciate you as being just the genuine who you've always been to everyone in the circuit, NBL, NASCA, everywhere. And I think that's what's really cool right now about you doing NASCA, is that everybody gets to meet Edgar. So
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. You know, having me on the show for me is it's big, you know, and I'm grateful for you, Alex and Jeff, just to let him know the people who is Edgar Cordova more, you know, and yeah, it will be a pleasure to be in another show and talking a lot another things maybe.
Yes, definitely. And man, we have so many questions on here too. We didn't even get to.
Dude,
so
you are getting loads of love on here, like the whole show.
Yeah, so go back and check those comments.
What I'm gonna do is I'm going to the show after show, and we are gonna respond to all the people. You know, that's something that I'm be able to do too. So yeah, great. let's put this crazy stuff. You know, we're gonna answer all the questions.
That's right. Awesome. All right, brother.
That's the great thing. Is they're not even just like, there were some questions, but a lot of them are just Edgar's just a rock solid guy. Yeah. Edgar's awesome. Edgar's the man.
Oh, thank you.
It's it's just like 387 comments like that.
Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show, you know, and this is Edgar Cordova. I'm here for anybody.
Awesome, man. All right, Alex.
This is another episode of Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week. Thank you, Edgar.